Hello, and welcome to another episode of Weird Stories from the Bible. So, our weird story from the Bible today comes from 2 Kings chapter 2. Now, if you're familiar with 2 Kings at all, there's this very famous prophet called Elijah. And he does a lot of famous stuff, but he's kind of like really famous for like the chariots of fire come down and they pick him up and they bring him to heaven. And Elisha, the guy we're talking about today, Elisha, Elisha, he watches this happen and he becomes the main prophet after Elijah leaves. So here we go. This is immediately afterwards. Now the people of the city said to Elisha, "The location of this city is good, as my lord sees, but the water is bad, and the land is unfruitful." He said, "Bring me a new bowl and put salt in it." So they brought it to him. And then he went to the spring of water and threw the salt into it, and said, "Thus says the Lord, I have made this water wholesome. From now on neither death nor miscarriage shall come from it." So the water has become wholesome to this day, according to the word that Elisha spoke. Good so far, right? And then Elisha, he went up from there to Bethel. And while he was going on his way, some small boys came into the city and jeered at him, saying, "Go away, bald head! Go away, bald head!" Or baldy, as the other translations will say. When they turned around and saw him, he cursed them in the name of the Lord. Then 2 she-bears came out of the woods and mauled 42 of the boys. From there on he went to Mount Carmel and then returned to Samaria. Thus says the Lord. All right, so weird story, right? And it's really like kind of juxtaposed into like everything that's going on. Like the story of Elijah is a story of huge power, and Elisha goes on to do a lot of amazing things. And the story starts with him healing the waters, for this whole town. And then right after he's done, he leaves the town, and some 40, 50 kids, teenagers most likely, come and they follow him and they start making fun of him for being bald, right? I mean, what is going on here? What? And even more so, which is really interesting, like he curses them in the name of the Lord, which is again like bringing in this Old Testament, I don't know what to call it, like theme of blessing and curses. Like they believed a lot. We still kind of do, but the blessings of God are so very powerful. There's so much power in the name of God and the power of God, but there's also power in the curse, which is why it's a sin to curse and use the Lord's name in vain. This is a big thing for us because we believe that God has power. God is working in this world, and so we have this blessing, the restoring of the waters, but then this curse as well for the people who don't believe. And so I wanted to share a few pictures that have come out throughout the ages here, and we'll see some funny stuff happen. And so here's one. We have Elisha cursing all those teens, middle Renaissance painting there. They look mostly okay, and the Bible says 42 of them got eaten, or mauled, I should say. And those bears look pretty rough. Here we got the black and white wood carving, scary bears. Of course, Elisha looking down. I think he looks a little smug there, maybe. Oh, here we go. The scariest bears I could find. And these guys, I'm seeing guys with like glasses and beards. So I couldn't find the source for this one, but I'm pretty sure this is the author or the painter is saying something else. But if you'll notice too, I think Elisha up in the corner there, he is not very bald. So I was wondering what that was about, but whatever. Missed one of the main points of the whole thing. But anyway, and of course the kids version, because of course it's a kids story and somebody had to make a kids version of this, right? Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Well, that's the story of Elisha and the she-bears and the 42 youth who got mauled. And why is this in the Bible? Who knows? But it's in there, and we got to do something with it. So I hope you have some a strange way of accepting this as part of our Bible. And it's part of the challenging things of with our Holy Scriptures is sometimes we have to take what we understand with what we don't understand. And here is one of those opportunities to try our best. Sometimes it's fun too. There's you can always I have in the past used this story as a way of knocking teenagers back on their toes. And there's also another story in Numbers. It's one of the laws where, like, if a teenager, a young man, they say, if a young man doesn't listen to the elders can go, or his parents, the parents can go to the elders, and then the elders can say to the young man, "You listen to your parents, or else." And if the young man still doesn't listen to the parents, then the young man gets taken to the outside of town and stoned. And so the Bible is just full of all these very strange laws and stories about keeping teenagers in line. So it's nothing new for all of us, but it's also an interesting way to think that these are things that have been going on for a long, long time. Anyway, that's a weird story from the Bible. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you later.